everyone!
Hello!
And welcome to Kirsty and Briony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Briony, and we are going to dive into the world of dreams and see what the heck is going on inside our minds.
Who knows?
Have you been having dreams? Hast thou dreamt, wench?
I have dreamt, wench, but not anything particularly interesting.
Okay.
So it happened last night, and it's happened a few times prior to that as well. But I just spend the whole night, or a good portion of the morning, I guess, as I wake up, thinking that I'm playing Civ 7.
Oh.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's literally, I'm like playing through a game of Civ 7 in my brain. And this morning, I was playing as Isabella, and I found 2 natural wonders, and one gave me tons of science, and the other gave me production, and somehow, by some logic, that meant that I was getting 3,000 science a turn, and I was doing so well, and that was it. That was the whole thing. I was just playing Civ in my brain.
Are you playing Isabella in your actual game?
I have been, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a game on the go at the minute. I've not played Civ in a few days.
Yeah.
I do like playing as Isabella. She's my favourite.
I've been enjoying Augustus. Just being a little war boy.
War boy.
Marchy war boy.
Yeah, I did win a war victory with Isabella. But,
nice.
It took a while. I feel like it's just all slow compared to a science victory in that game currently. But it's fun. It's very fun. I want to play more.
I have actually been having so many dreams recently. Humble brag. Not that humble, because I'm quite proud.
I mean, it's quite handy since I'm not really having any.
It is. My brain has been a little dream factory of content recently. So I've got quite a few recorded, one of which I have brought today. But I've also just had like random snippets of, I had one of the worst dreams I've ever had in my life recently. So that wasn't fun.
That's not good.
And it was so real. It was horrible. It genuinely felt like, I don't know if it's because I've been watching Severance, but it genuinely felt like what I imagine it would feel like if your brain was suddenly, like you suddenly went from one, like your severed side to your unsevered side, and like your innie to your outie, but you could remember the other one. And it felt so real that I was confused, that I was like, I just couldn't come to terms with the fact that it wasn't real. I was just really like, oh, and it was horrible because it was that my classic one that Alex had left me and I was alone, and I think I was like going on a date with someone who was a character from For All Mankind, which is the other show I've been watching, and I just had these feelings of guilt, and then I was like, you can't feel guilty. He's never coming back. This is your life now. All of this stuff. It's like, you just have to move on, blah, blah, blah. And then when I woke up, I was so relieved that I was just like, oh, it wasn't, like, it felt so real. It was horrible. And I literally was just like squeezing Alex, just like, never leave. Just like, you're here, you're staying here. And it was just like,
I feel like this must be every morning.
Yeah, I do have this dream a lot, but it's the most real it's ever felt, and it was like so horrible. But then, on the flip side to that, I had a dream this morning that so I did have a dream that I was staying in this big fancy like library type room, like house. It was like a big manor house, but with the real dark furniture and that sort of stuff. And the bunnies had this massive room to themselves. It was like one of those big fancy sitting rooms, and they were just running around. They had this gate to their room But there was loads of space at the bottom of it. And I went into their room and they were both sat on a Roomba. And the Roomba was going underneath the fence and they were just sat on it and they just got out. They could have got out on their own, but they just sat on the Roomba and just slowly moved under the gate and escaped. And I was just like, no. And then I went out and I came back and a ferret had got into the building. And I was just like, ferrets are like little weaselly hunters. We can't have a ferret in the building. We have to get rid of this ferret. And it was like, it looked like a ferret, but in my head I knew it was like a wild stoat, like a weasel, like a wild version of something of the ferrety family. But I just picked it up and it was fine. I just picked it up and I put it out the back garden and I was just like, no, stay out. And then I had to go and find Jerry and Fifi. And they were just in like another sitting room with these other bunnies and they were all just calmly sat together. And I was like, have you gone and bonded yourself with other bunnies? Do I have 4 bunnies now because you've just bonded yourselves? But in the dream, I woke up from that dream and I was like, I've had a dream. I should record it. But I was so sleepy and out of it that I was like, I can't. Like, to open up my voice recorder on my phone, I have to wake up, unlock my phone, swipe across, open it up, blah, blah, blah. Whereas if you just press twice on the button, you open the camera. So I was like, I'm so tired. I'll just record a video of it instead.
Right.
Because then I don't have to wake up more and forget the dream. So I did that. But then in the dream, I woke up a bit more and I watched the video back and I had Alex's beard. And I remember watching it and thinking, do I have Alex's beard every morning and then I lose it when I wake up? Do I have a beard like half of my life and I've just never known about it? And I was just so confused. And as I was waking up in the video, the beard was like slowly just absorbing into my face. And I was like, I've had a beard all this time and I didn't know. It's just my night beard. And yeah. So that was today's lot of dreams.
Oh my God.
So you see what I mean? I've just been like a dream factory churning it out. And I don't know if it's because I've actually been, because we've been decorating, I've been a lot more physically tired every day. So maybe I'm just getting the good sleep where I'm...
Yeah, honestly, probably.
Getting deep and having nonsense dreams about beards and bunnies and ferrets.
Yeah.
I could look up beard, actually. This wasn't even the dream I meant to bring today. It's just stuck with me.
You've just got so many extra dreams.
Lush with dreams. Bean, bear, beard. Oh, no. To dream of a man with a beard. I mean, it wasn't. It was me. But it says to dream of a man with a beard means we must guard against cover-up and deceit.
All men with beards are deceitful.
What are they hiding in their beards? Well, what secrets have you got in your beards? Did you ever go through a scared of beards phase as a child?
I don't think so. If I did, I've not been made aware of it.
Because I remember one of my friends going through that phase and her dad had a beard and he stubbornly refused to shave it off because he was like, you have to get used to this. I'm not changing my face for you,
I think
child.
That's the best way to do it, honestly. That's what I would do. I'd be like, get over it, child.
I mean, I wonder if it would have been better to shave it off and then have it slowly grow back so the child became accustomed to it. Or maybe that would have been seen as more sneaky.
I feel like that would have happened anyway, because surely either the child has just seen them with a beard all the time and it's normal, or it grew in at some point. So
yeah,
it's just children being silly. They just need to stop being scared of beards.
Am I misremembering this? But didn't Margaret Thatcher hate beards?
I have no idea. I'm
pretty sure she had a fear of beards, but I don't know if this is just
Margaret
a random...
Thatcher scared of beards. She wouldn't tolerate any minister of hers having a beard.
Yeah,
but I don't know if she was scared of it. I think she was just one of those people that thought beards in the workplace were bad, maybe.
Scruffy.
She banned beards in her cabinets.
Yeah. I remember there being something about her and beards.
I think maybe she just thought it wasn't very professional.
Yeah. I sort of had the opposite as a child because there was one time my dad has always had a beard, even when he was born with a beard.
Born with a beard.
I remember there was one holiday where he just randomly decided to shave it off. And we were all terrified because we were just like,
terrifying.
You just sort of forget. And then you'd see this man and be like, why is this man in my caravan? Oh, it's Dad. But then we got used to it quicker because we saw him more, but he kept making himself jump because he wasn't used to it. So he'd catch sight of himself in the mirror and be like, oh.
Oh my God. Oh dear.
It also says we perhaps need to consider more masculine attributes in ourselves or others. So I need to be more manly.
I see.
Be a man. I must be quick as the raging river. Is that the
swift
something?
As a coursing river.
Something great typhoon.
With all the strength of a great typhoon.
What's the next bit? Because then it's the moon.
All the strength of a raging fire, I think.
Mysterious as the dark side of the moon.
I think I got
so that's
that right.
what I have to be. You got it righter than me.
True. I did my best.
Spiritually, there is an ambivalence in the symbol of the beard, and the meaning will depend on the dreamer's own culture. It may mean wisdom and dignity, or alternatively, it may mean deceit and deviousness.
Ooh.
So, oh my gosh.
I think a mustache is more devious than a beard.
We should play a game where we look at all the beards in the Yogscast and we rank them on whether we think they are wise or devious. I think Rythian has a wise beard.
I think Rythian has a wise beard.
Yeah.
But I think that's as far as we should go.
Yes.
When it comes to ranking people.
Everyone else is devious.
Yes.
I guess I've never really thought about... I mean, I like beards, so maybe I've just never really seen it. But I know what you mean about moustaches.
Yeah.
I think because maybe more baddies in films
exactly.
and stuff.
It's a trope. Absolutely.
Yeah, like
you see a
the
baddie
twizzling of the baddie moustache.
Yeah, with the twizzly mustache, it's like, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
And even like if someone has a glorious beard, but they have a little twiddly mustache, I'm like, nah, you've ruined it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now you're devious.
Like even Poirot, who I think is fantastic.
Honestly,
has
Poirot,
a look of the devious about him.
He is devious, but he's cheeky devious. He gets away with it. He's the exception. But I think that's because he has a round face.
Yeah. He's got he's like a mole man in a nice way.
A mole
I
man.
wouldn't be surprised if they made like an animal version of Poirot. I think he would be played by a mole.
Fair.
But I like moles.
I can see that.
So that's a compliment to be a mole.
I get where you're coming from. What would I be?
Yeah, if they did like
an animal adaptation of my life.
Yeah, but if it had to be like, you're probably too young to have watched Tales from the Riverbank.
Yeah, I never watched that. No.
Oh, it was very sweet. In my memory. Maybe I'll go back and watch it and it was actually horrendous. But...
Yeah. I don't really know. Like, I feel like other people are better at sort of gauging what I'm like and saying what I would be, maybe. Because I don't really know. Like, what do you think I would be?
What would you be? I can sort of see you as a hedgehog.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Because one of my favourite characters from Beatrix Potter was Mrs. Tiggywinkle. And I think you could have sort of Tiggywinkle energy.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
I love Mrs. Tiggywinkle. What about me?
I mean, it's easy to just say bunny. But you're so tall that you could be a hare, but like a very beautiful and not raggedy and scary hare, because sometimes they could look a bit scary, can't they?
They do. Hares look like they've seen all the secrets of the universe.
They do.
Whereas bunnies are just like, bunny.
Bunny. I think like it's a cop out, but it works to say that you would be a bunny. Like it feels strange to say that you'd be anything else, to be honest.
Yeah.
It just works. But you'd be a long one, not an orb.
A gangly bunny. Like not the same colour, but have you ever seen Belgian hares? They're called hares, but they're actually bunnies.
I probably have. Let me look.
They're very beautiful bunnies. But they're the longest ones I can think of.
Oh, yes. They look like the Cadbury Caramel bunny.
Oh.
But less sexy.
Oh.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They are. All bunnies are beautiful. I do like Belgian hares. Or an English lop, because I have a lot of hair and they have the biggest
true.
ears
Your hair
of
does
any
give
bunny.
lop energy.
Yeah.
If you were an English lop, I could ride on your back as a hedgehog, because English lops are ginormous. We had 2 English lops at my college when I was doing my degree, and they were so big. They were just the biggest babies.
I like big buns. I cannot lie. Kirsty likes big buns and she tells only truth. Which one do you believe?
I'm looking at English lops now and I'm like, yeah, that's Briony. Yeah.
Do you know, one of my favourite things in things, this is a very niche statement to make, but I feel like this is very relatable, regardless. One of my favourite things is when they make things for, whether it be game, film, drawing, whatever, when they make things for small animals and they make big things out of smaller things, such as, for example, instead of a bowl, they have an acorn cup.
Yes.
And instead of a sword, they have one of those things you stab sweet corn with. Stuff like that. I love just tiny objects just being
like
used for big world things. Yeah, like the Borrowers.
And like in Arietti, obviously, which is based on the Borrowers, but
yeah,
there's some lovely examples of it in that as well.
I think things like, what was that series of books? Brambley Hedge.
I've heard of Brambley Hedge.
I think because I grew up watching the Borrowers and reading Brambley Hedge, I think it's just shaped my world. And then I play, like there was the roleplay thing I did.
Oh, the little mouse
quest.
one.
Yeah. Mouse Ritter. Stuff like that where you just had to think of, well, what would my weapon be? Oh, it's a dessert fork and stuff like that. I just love that world building of tiny objects.
Yeah.
It makes me very happy.
I love that too. Like, I've had dreams before where I've been shrunk down all tiny and I'm just like, hell yeah, this is so cool. It's the best.
There's just something really nice about tiny things.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever watch those videos where someone's making a tiny coffee? And it will be like...
Yeah.
like a tiny coffee cup and they've got a miniature coffee machine.
Or the one where they have the tiny oven and they put a tea light in it to heat it.
Yeah, or they bake like tiny pancakes on a tiny stove.
It's so good.
It just brings me so much joy. I think because my sister had a Playmobil house when we were little, and because I was 6 years younger than her, I was not allowed to touch it. And it was inside, it had its own cupboard, because in our house, we have these like inbuilt cupboards into the walls, and her room had one. And it was in there. And occasionally, if everyone was at the house, I would go into her room and I would just open the cupboard and look at it. I would be good. I mean, I would touch it a little bit, but not too much so that I would be caught. But I would just look at the things. And it was on those ones that had like working lampposts and stuff like that. I mean, I had Sylvanian families, which I guess was essentially the same thing. And my Sylvanian family toilet had a flushing sound when you pressed the button, which was lots of fun.
That's cool. I never had Sylvanian families, but I always kind of wanted them. They were just so cool, so tiny, and so cute.
I used to get told off because I would take all of their clothes off. But I just thought they're animals. They want to be running around. Let them be natural and free. And then I would swap all their clothes over because I thought, no, you look nice in Mr. Otter's jacket, Mr. Frog. But yeah.
What were we even talking about that got us on this subject?
Beards.
Beards.
Yes. I said I should be more masculine, and then I went on a rant about how I like tiny things in Sylvanian families.
Yeah,
it's not going well.
I still can't remember the link, but that's where we started. I love a beard. I wish I had a beard.
I feel like if I was a beard-growing person, I would have such a scruffy beard. I would not maintain that at all. I would just be like, let it grow.
I feel like I probably would as well. Not on purpose, but I probably would end up having quite a scruffy beard. But
I mean, considering how much food I already drop into my hair a lot of the time, I would have like a big, crummy sauce beard.
To be fair though, like if I see a scruffy beard, I'm like, oh come on, you fix that beard, it'll look good. So maybe if I had a scruffy beard, I'd be like, get it fixed, and I'd sort it out.
Yeah.
So, I am a beard enjoyer.
Me too.
It would just be like having a nice security blanket on your face all the time.
Yeah, and you'd have something to stroke whilst you were thinking.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I don't think very much. I don't have a beard.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
would you like to listen to my actual dream?
I was going to say, should we have a listen to your dream?
Yeah.
Even more Briony dreams, as if we've not heard enough of Briony's insane dreams today.
You've not been in my head too much. Let's dive a little deeper.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. This dream that I was playing this board game with Kirsty and Ridian and maybe Silas. And all I remember was the cards were laid out flat and sideways, but like I guess like a bow tie, like lots of ones on either end, and then they went down to one in the middle, and you had to sort of fight from the middle out. And all I remember about it was at one point Ridian said something like, and don't ask about the hippopotamus, and then we were like, what hippopotamus? And he slammed down this massive card with the hippopotamus on, just like, bam. I said not to ask or something. But I don't remember. Like, I know all of the rules are explained, but I've forgotten them now. And then the second part of the dream was that it was like a weird mix of stuff. It was that there was, we were doing this sort of Warhammer competition, but it was done inside these little cube boxes, and some of the pieces were like alive and moving around. Like there was this big unit that was like an echidna, but all black. And there was also part of a storyline where there was like this caravan in the garden, and I think who was meant to be my mum had this new boyfriend, and there was someone else who was staying in this caravan. He was like, I don't want to be here when he comes round because it's just uncomfortable. And I was like, I'll just stay in the house, because it was in the garden of the house. And then there was something about this guy turning up and saying that there was this disease, but it was fine because you could get this bath that would make you immune to it. So we should all have this bath. And I was like, I'm not going to have it because Saruman is in charge of baths, these bath things, trying to get everywhere. He's like really pushing for everyone to have baths. So it can't be good. He must be tricking us. And
So I refused to have it, but then it turned out that someone had had the bath and had bathed all of our figurines, which meant that it passed on to us. And I was like, no. And then Saruman was arranging for everyone to have these vaccinations. And I was like, again, I'm not going to have it because it will be bad. He's bad. And we were all there. And I remember this feeling of because this was the Warhammer competition day. And I had this feeling of if I go in, I'm going to be made to have it. I just have to hide and I can't go in. And I remember my little figurine got turned into this tiny little weird dust bunny thing that the echidna models could just constantly smell. And they were always hunting me out and I was trying to hide the piece from them, but they kept on trying to find it. And eventually it fell down into this crack and then I couldn't find it at all. And then all I remember for the rest of the dream was that I managed to get away. It was the next day and I was leaving and I was carrying something around this city, a massive box that I had to put down somewhere. And, what's the name of the actor? He was in... Oh, I'll look him up. I will have looked him up when I share this. And he kept on being like, are you okay? And I was like, yes. He was like, I should have asked if you were okay. I was like, no, I've carried it now, don't worry. And yeah, that is all I remember. The end. Bye-bye.
The end. I have no idea who the actor was. I don't remember any of that.
Wow.
So it's lost to time, that is.
Incredible.
I was sort of hoping it would come back to me because I was like, I remember vaguely mentioning an actor in a dream, but I don't remember. I just hope it's going to trigger it, but it did not.
Yeah. Well, I took lots of notes. There was a lot of games, lots of gaming. You got board games, you got Warhammer. The board game had cards in it with the big hippopotamus card that you can't ask about.
And I was there. By the hippopotamus. You were!
I'm glad this time it was Rydian and Kirsty and maybe Zealous was there.
Yeah.
Because usually that's me. So.
I think I remember that the cards were pink, but I do remember the bow tie formation. And I think it was a race to get to the end of your cards, but you had to go middle out or something. And I guess the hippopotamus was the boss. I don't know.
Were we against each other, do you think?
I think so, yeah. But with a common hippopotamus enemy or something.
Maybe. Or maybe the hippopotamus was on Rydian's side.
Maybe. I think I mentioned playing in cubes or something at one point. I think that might be because we've been thinking about storage solutions, and at one point we were talking about getting Kallaxes. So it's probably just that, because I was thinking I should put my minis in a Kallax. So it could just be that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why Saruman was trying to get everyone vaccinated.
Yeah, so there's a disease and there's a bath that makes you immune, but Saruman was behind it. I wrote, Saruman is working with Big Bath.
Yes.
So you didn't want to do that. So then he cracked out the vaccinations. And you didn't want to do that either.
I think I vaguely remember there being something where it turned out that maybe he wasn't as behind the baths as I'd thought, and the baths had been good, but now this next thing was bad because Saruman was really behind that. I was just I didn't know who to trust or what to do. I was like, do I have a bath? Do I get this vaccination?
Yeah. I wrote, Briony's Warhammer became smelly. Then she lost it.
Yeah. It got bathed in the bath water.
And they were trying to find you with the smell so they could vaccinate you.
I was talking about echidnas very recently. I was talking about echidnas on the 13th of February.
Is this,
and this dream was
echidna
the
the
19th.
animal, or is this a unit in Warhammer?
Echidna the animal.
Okay, because you said echidna, and I was like, I know what an echidna is, but we're talking about Warhammer, so I'm like, is that a thing? Is that some sort of tank? Some sort of man?
Oh, you might get special Warhammer echidnas.
Maybe. But okay, that makes sense that it's a real
Yeah,
echidna.
it was like an actual echidna. But like a little model of them, I guess. I think I vaguely remember what the cube thing looked like that it was in. It was, I guess essentially, if you made a model of the bridge that Gandalf fights the Balrog on, it was a bit like that. Yeah. It was like, but like a bigger version. Not bigger. There's just like there's more either side of it.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that, and I think we were trying to fight over it or something. I don't really know. I don't know, but yeah.
There was also something about Mum has a new boyfriend in a caravan.
Yes. Yeah. I don't remember any of that stuff. This must have been a real deep sleep dream, because only very vague bits are coming back to me. Whereas usually when I hear a dream, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. Or it'll sit with me for a while. Whereas this is just like, oh, I'm hearing myself say the words. But I don't remember this. Yeah.
I don't know what. Huh. Well, bloody hell. I don't really know where to start, honestly. Have you watched Lord of the Rings lately?
No.
Where's Saruman come from? What's he doing?
I don't really know why he was
and his
there.
Baths.
I'm going to look up vaccination. Oh. In normal everyday life, vaccination is an action which initially hurts but is ultimately good for us. To dream that we are being vaccinated, therefore, suggests we are likely to be hurt by someone, perhaps emotionally. What they are trying to do to us will, in the end, however, be helpful. Unless it's Saruman. It is very easy for us to be influenced by other people. Vaccination indicates that we can be affected by other people's ideas and feelings. But it also says, vaccination in dreams suggests spiritual indoctrination. Oh. Let's ignore that bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I can sort of understand that. I guess sometimes you have to do things that are unpleasant in the immediate, but for the long-term good, such as a vaccination. You know, it's a bit like, ooh, but afterwards you're like, yay, I don't have mumps.
Exactly.
So
and it's always
nice.
good to not have mumps.
Yeah. Oh, my dream before this was about someone having mumps, wasn't it?
Excellent.
So maybe that's what it was. I was just protecting everyone from dream mumps. That's all right. Next dream we have, everyone's getting vaccinated.
Thanks, Saruman.
But I don't even know. Why? I'm confused by my own dream, I'll be honest. I'll look up BAFF. 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 When we dream of being in the bath, it may indicate the need for cleansing of some old feelings, the need to relax, to let go. We have an opportunity to contemplate what has occurred in the past and to adopt new attitudes. Okay. So I guess, I mean, this is something that I've talked to you about recently, or a lot in the past, of not being good. You know, I'm a festerer of emotions.
Yes.
You know, that something will bother me and I'll just sit there and be like, better hold this in.
I'll ignore it. It'll go away.
What's that, an emotion? Let's repress that into a box. So I wonder if it was my brain telling me the quick, vaccination needle of dealing with your emotions is better for long-term gain than sitting in Saruman's bath and letting it fester.
I agree, honestly. I'm agreeing with your brain there.
So maybe that's what I need to learn to do. Because it turned out, no, wait. Well, it was Saruman behind the vaccination. I don't know. I don't know where Saruman comes into it. I think maybe he was actually meant to be quite nice because Christopher Lee was lovely.
True, yeah. And if Christopher Lee is telling you to share your emotions, then you got to listen.
You should.
Yep.
That's a voice you can't ignore.
Exactly.
I think I was thinking about Christopher Lee recently.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe that was it. What were you thinking about?
I think I can't remember what it was, but I have a vague memory of hearing about some sort of the audiobook of something and finding out that it was read by Christopher Lee and being like, oh, that must be nice. Someone was telling me about it and I can't think what series it was or what book it was, but I definitely remember having a discussion quite recently saying like, oh, he'd have a lovely voice to be reading anything.
Let's have a look.
So I would listen to that.
Audiobooks read out by Christopher Lee. A lot of Agatha Christie.
Oh, that was... Was that it? What else has he read?
The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. The Children of Hurin by Tolkien. More Agatha Christie. A lot of Agatha Christie, actually.
Couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was Agatha Christie.
Yeah, it feels like it is mostly Agatha Christie. And then there's just a couple of other books. There's a book called I'm a Paramedic, which might be a children's book.
I mean, maybe it was just Agatha Christie stuff because that is in my wheelhouse. So yeah, maybe it was that because
it looks like it's mostly.
I do talk about Poirot a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of short
so
stories.
It wouldn't surprise me.
The Hound of Death, The Red Signal, The Fourth Man, The Lamp, Wireless, The Witness for the Prosecution, The Mystery of the Blue Jar, A Strange Case of Sir Arthur Carmichael, The Call of Wings, and SOS, and a few other ones. So yeah, it's mainly Agatha Christie. I guess he was a big fan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's probably that. And that just put him in my mind for being a bit naughty.
I'm surprised he didn't do more Tolkien, honestly. But maybe they were a bit long. Maybe he thought, nah, I'll do a short one.
Is it Andy Serkis who did the most recent reading of Lord of the Rings? I think he did the ones on Audible, maybe. When I was
think
little,
so. You might be right. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I found a couple of other audiobooks by Christopher Lee. He did some ghost stories. He did Dracula, of course.
Oh.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera. What else have you done?
Do you know what?
Man, and Frankenstein. I think listening to Dracula read out by Christopher Lee, that'd be pretty sick.
I just remembered at Christmas time, I literally watched a ghost story that was read by Christopher Lee. So it's probably that.
He's just everywhere.
Yeah. I fell asleep to it because his voice was so soothing. Like, I could not tell you anything that happened in this story because I was just entranced and then asleep. And then I woke up and was just like, oh, must have been good.
I must have enjoyed that one.
And my mum stayed awake for the whole thing. And I was just like, what was it about? And she was like, couldn't really tell you.
Yeah.
It was a bit confusing. So, but he had, even despite the story being a bit odd, he had a lovely voice to listen to.
And that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I watched a video of him recently where he was speaking like German and Italian and French. He could just speak so many languages. He was super smart.
Yeah. He was just a very cool man.
What couldn't he do?
What couldn't he do?
Vaccinate me. That's what it was.
That's true. That's true. Nice try, Saruman.
Yeah, if Christopher Lee himself had have said to do it, I would have been like, yes. But Saruman,
Yeah,
I'm
Saruman
onto
comes
you.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks,
Naughty
Saruman.
little guy. I can't think what else happened in my dream. The echidnas,
Yeah.
where I was showing, we were at the pub, and I can't remember how we got onto it, but I was telling people how weird their penises are.
Fair. That does sound like a conversation you would strike up at the pub.
Yes.
I can't believe that.
Unprompted. Because I was just saying, like, when you look at them, they're just such, like, cute little guys. And then all of a sudden you see that and you're just like, oh, like, for what reason is it like that? Like, not to, I don't want, if any echidnas are listening, I'm not shaming. I'm just curious as to the mechanics of the thing. Because why?
For anybody who doesn't want to Google it, it kind of, imagine you have a cat and they want to clean their paw and they spread out their toes. That's what it looks like.
See, I always think it looks like the hat that Feathers McGraw wears to look like a chicken.
Yeah, that too. That too.
It's just really weird. But why?
Hang on, I found an article. I'll find out. Oh, and the article starts with a nice big picture of it. Lovely.
Ooh.
I'll have to get back to you, though. While I
guess I
read this.
want to know what's going on the other end of things for it to, make sense, for it to fit together in my head.
Yeah.
Because I know there's various things like ducks have a strange system going on that works for them. So maybe echidnas are the same.
I guess, like, pigs too, right?
Oh, yeah, with their corkscrews.
They have a little corkscrew going on. They got to, like, spin to get in place. Like a little windmill.
Like in a cartoon where someone is using a drill and then it stays still and they spin round.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it's like. I can confirm. I've worked with pigs. That's... I've seen it firsthand. They just
one of them
spin.
stays very still and the other one just...
You remember those like toys you'd get as a kid, like a little fairy, and you'd pull the thing and they'd spin?
Yeah, and she'd fly. Yeah.
Before it takes off, just as it's spinning on the thing, that's what it's like. You're like, oh, that pig's going to take off any minute.
Oh. It's an educational podcast, this.
I think the answer is that they don't really know why the echidna's penis is like that.
Has anyone thought to ask them?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No.
Knuckles can talk. Could ask him.
True. Maybe they don't want to
be in
broach the subject.
Next film.
But yeah, that would be a good plot for the next film.
Oh, they are very cute, though, aren't they? They're what's the one that they're very similar to? With their little, because they've got those tiny little sniffly, snuffly snouts, haven't they?
What, echidnas?
Yeah.
I
just love them.
They're good little boys.
I love learning about animals, and when you discover a new animal and it's exciting, like I think it was last year I found out about, is it rock hyraxes? Oh, and I love them. They're freaky little guys. They're just funny little things.
Yeah, they're so funny. It's just like a big lump.
They're like a little burnt potato, and they smell things with their tongues a lot of the time.
And their little
so they'll just be sat there just going... and
they got these two little fangs. They're just like a little vampire boy. Oh, they're so
like
so
a little vampire potato with perverted tendencies with their little... I think the year before that was the Viscatcher. Finding out about those.
Viscatcher. How do you spell that one? I need to...
VISCACHA.
I got it.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Wise chinchillas. I mean, chinchillas are very wise, but just they look like if there was a king chinchilla and he was very wise.
They do
That's
look
what this
incredibly
catcher would
wise.
look like.
Oh my god.
They're
There's
like
just
something out of a
so
Ghibli film.
many animals.
Yeah,
just so
I
many.
just love when you find a new one and you're just like, what is this?
What are you?
Why have I not known about you all my life? It's like there was what was it? There was one I discovered a bit. I found photos on the internet. I discovered this. They should all be named after me. There was some sort of really big water rat.
Oh yeah.
That was, is it Rakali? Is it them?
Oh, okay. I was thinking of the Nutria.
Oh, yeah, those as well. The Nutribullets.
Nutribullets. Because it's like,
They're just-
I think stuff like that, you always see pictures of like people like holding them up and it's like, look at the size of this giant rat that they found. They're overgrowing. And it's like, that's not a rat. That's just a larger rodent.
Because they're like beaver, rat, otters, aren't they? They're just like or they're a bit capybara-y. There's just like a strange mix of lots of different things. It's like Mara. They're like deer, rabbit, guinea pig, weird things. My favorite thing about Mara is I remember reading up about them one time, and I found that some of them will adjust their sleeping patterns to avoid social interaction. I was like, that's so relatable. That
Just
was
like
literally me in
real.
university. I would stay up until like 2 a.m. to wait until my housemate that I didn't like had gone to sleep and then have dinner. Just so I didn't have to talk to him.
Oh my
I remember
God.
reading about them and being like, yes, I find you very relatable, strange bunny deer. They've just got such a large body compared to their spindly legs. It's really funny.
They do. The little weird old legs. I think that's what makes them look more deer-like, like with the gangliness.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up giant rodents now. I love a big rodent.
Just like a rodent of unusual size.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Princess Bride?
I haven't seen Princess Bride.
Ah,
I was
got
going to
very
say
big
a rodent of
rodents.
unusual size because I knew it was a Princess Bride thing, but that would have been me
ROUSs.
pretending. So I did
Yeah.
because I've not seen it.
They are very clearly people in rat costumes. Or giant rats that have been thrown at someone to pretend to wrestle with. Immersion ruined. Sorry, everyone.
I can't believe this.
But I loved them. Did you ever watch the Beatrix Potter ballet
No.
when you were little?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. It is. I was talking about this the other day. It's equal parts. I loved Beatrix Potter as a child, and I love like the costume and the set design and the dancing. Like, who's the frog? What's his name? Jeremy? No. What's the name of the Beatrix Potter frog?
Beatrix Potter frog. Hang on, I'll look it up. I'm the Googler today. It is Jeremy Fisher.
Jeremy Fisher, that's the one. Like, watching his dance, beautiful. But some of it is so terrifying. Like, if you just look up Beatrix Potter Ballet, it is, parts of it were very traumatic.
Right. In what sense?
Like there was a bit where there was just this terrifying owl. There's a bit where, like, you watch these, it was either mice or squirrels.
I can see a
Maybe it's
squirrel doing the
squirrels.
splits currently, and it's a bit unsettling.
Yeah, because they have like really furry bodies, but then they've just got these very
The spindly legs.
tight human legs, tight covered legs, and I'm pretty sure it was squirrels, and they're dancing. Or maybe it is the mice, but they're dancing around and they're doing this happy little dance. And then this terrifying owl appears, and I'm pretty sure at one point it like gets one of them and rips off their tail from the costume and stuff. And it's just, it was just like, oh, okay, I'm traumatized now. It's just one of those things that, you know, when someone mentions something from your childhood and you just have this feeling of unease that you can't really put words to.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things for me. But I used to really like the cartoons. But I remember having the VHS of the ballet.
I don't remember ever watching anything Beatrix Potter. The only thing from my childhood that was Beatrix Potter was that I had the crockery. I had like the plate set and the bowls, and they were like my favourite things to eat food from. And I had a mug as well with Peter Rabbit on it. But I never watched it or anything like that.
I just feel like Beatrix Potter always had... It was this weird mix of very British and wholesome and very nice, but then also the dark side of nature mixed in. And I think that was what was unsettling. Like there's a whole dance that's Jemima Puddle Duck and I think it's Mr. Todd, the fox, and they have a lovely dance together. But then obviously the whole time you're like, it's a duck and a fox. This doesn't end well, Jemima. And they're like doing this lovely ballet together. And then I think he just drags her off. And I think you just see feathers flying everywhere or something. And then she runs away. It's something like that. I can't remember it fully because I've repressed it into the dark recesses of my mind. But it's just stuff like that where you'd be like, oh, this is lovely. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Because I think Beatrix Potter did just sort of, was it the Peak District she lived in? And she would just go and study nature. And
I'm not sure.
That was why she made these characters, was because she just loved watching them. And then she would look at it was either the Peak District or the Lake District. I can't remember.
Should I Google that too?
I have this vague fact in my brain that she used all of her money from writing to just like buy up land. And that's why, because they were trying to build on it. And that's why a lot of British countryside is preserved, because Beatrix Potter bought it and kept it how it should have been.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
But
it was the Lake District.
Lake District. But yeah, so she just was like, this is the land I love and I have money and I don't want it to be developed on. So she preserved a lot of the land.
That's cool.
That's my Beatrix Potter fact.
The National Trust. Work closely with the National Trust, helping it to acquire land and manage farms to ensure their long-term preservation.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's a nicer way to go about it than some rich people. But yeah. I also, in my head, she almost married Ewan McGregor, but that's because that's the film.
I was going to say, it's a bit of an age gap.
McGregor wasn't alive.
He wasn't even alive, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he's like, did she ever marry?
I'll find out. Yes. Potter was her maiden name. Her married name was Helis. William Helis.
Is that who Ewan McGregor played? or was he... Or did she marry like a very sensible man, but she fancied Ewan McGregor? I can't remember. It's a long time since I've seen the film. I think she's played by Renee Zellweger. None of this is factual now. This is all just the memories of the film.
I'm just trying to find out information about this man, William Helis.
I think she was played by Bridget Jones.
Okay. Hang on, so Beatrix Potter movie.
Beatrix Potter married Mr. Darcy, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Renee Zellweger was Beatrix Potter. Ewan McGregor was Norman Warren. William Helis was played by Lloyd Owen.
Oh, okay. I think he was the guy who encouraged her to publish, maybe.
Who, Ewan McGregor or
Ewan
husband?
McGregor. I'm pretty sure it was young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right, yes.
Who told Beatrix Potter to publish books. That's history.
Yeah, he was a book editor. There you go. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I mean.
She was writing her books in the Lake District, and he was like, hello there.
She replies, General Kenobi.
Oh. I feel like I've given some facts mixed
There's been a lot of facts this episode.
Nonsense.
We've learned about echidna penises and Beatrix Potter.
Yeah, the preservation
and
of the
Ewan
Lake
McGregor.
District. And the preservation of Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. I think that's a job well done.
One of my favourite films,
Yeah.
probably not anymore, I've gone off it a bit, but it is called Velvet Goldmine. And Ewan McGregor is in that. And not many people I know have seen this film. It's not that good, I'll be honest. But it's basically about, unofficially, it's about supposedly David Bowie and Iggy Pop had an affair.
Okay.
In real life. But for libel reasons, you're not allowed to make a film about that. So it's very obviously that is what it's about, but they have different names. And Ewan McGregor plays Iggy Pop in this scenario. But he was saying in an interview recently that during one of the raunchy scenes, which wasn't with the David Bowie character, it was with someone else, it was with Christian Bale.
Right.
They wanted to have this like far away shot of it happening, and apparently they were filming it from so far away that they just didn't hear them call cut, and so Ewan McGregor and Christian Bale are just going at it, like obviously pretend going at it, and then at one point he sort of like, because obviously you don't want to look at the cameras because actors are trained not to look at the cameras, but at one point he just sort of said like, I think I would have, like, I wouldn't still be going by now. So, and he looks across and he said they were all just packing up and moving up. So if you ever do watch that, just bear that in mind when you're watching that scene.
Oh my God.
They're just like, they look like they're having fun. Just cut. No, never mind. Okay, let's go.
To it. Let's go.
Actors, what are they like?
Jesus Christ. I love Ewan McGregor. He seems really nice.
Yeah, he does seem really lovely. There's something I quote that he said in one video.
It's not the Otters video, is it?
No, what did he say in the Otters?
He said, Otters! Have you not seen it?
I don't know if I have.
Oh my God, hang on. I'll send it to you. You can watch it after. Sea otters!
Does he see otters?
Yeah.
Oh!
He's so happy.
Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, bless him. No, it's this really stupid thing where it was in, he did those like long way down videos, like that TV series where he's going around with his friend and they're just traveling.
Right.
There was like long way down and long way across or something. I can't remember, but it was one of those, but it was a behind the scenes video of him before they've even headed off, and he's throwing Maltesers in the air and trying to catch them in his mouth. And one of them, this is such a niche, stupid reference. One of them, he throws it up and it lands in the hood of his jacket, and he just turns to the camera and goes, Maltesers in the hood, she. And every time someone says Maltesers, my head just goes, Maltesers in the hood, she. It's just lodged in my brain forever now.
Oh my God.
But it's one of those things that you say and someone's just like, what's that from? You're like, oh, it's just a video from 15 years ago that no one else has watched. It's a video. Ewan McGregor said it once.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
dear. You need to watch the Sea Otters video, the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
good. Well,
we've had a lovely chat.
we have.
Sorry,
It's
it's
time
a
for
me
us
episode, which
to
means
go.
it's just been a nonsense.
That's okay. I was going to say I'm sorry too, but I don't mind. I was saying I'm sorry for not having dreams. That's what I'm sorry about.
Now remember
Other
what
than
I
just
said
playing
at the
Civ.
start was that I've been having lots of dreams. They're all recorded, so it's just going to be more of this.
It's just constant. I hope you like Briony dreams. I'll try and have some. I'll try my best.
Nice.
But my brain just wants to play Civ while I'm asleep, apparently. So.
Yeah.
Oh
Maybe you'll
dear.
learn some good dream strategies.
Oh, maybe.
That's what
Hopefully.
I'm trying to say.
I'll try my best.
Stream strategies.
Dream strategies.
Oh, well, Kirsty, thank you very much for a lovely chat.
Thank you, Briony, and I will see you next time.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next time, bye-bye for now. Bye.